this time, we'd like to introduce you to the starters, beginning with our visitors from Montgomery. Number 5, Nicholas Granadino Morillo. Number 6, Ethan Goldstone. Number 7, Ewan Nedalek. Number 8, Marcelo Martinez Herrero. Number 9, Oscar Alvarado Celis. Number 11, Owen Lovery. Number 17, Mateo Muñez. Number 20, Miguel Graneda Halaba. Number 23, Kenja Bertal Doreles. Number 34, Ernesto Badis Austin. And starting in goal, number 1, Xavier Fernandez Mendia. Montgomery is led by head coach Pedro Bras, was assisted by Scott Payne. And now the starting lineup for your Harford Fighting Owls. Number 5, Ethan Dukin. Number 12, Josh Bell. Number 13, Lucas Ritos. Number 14, David Alvarado. Number 17, Cameron Calvert. Number 18, Tomas Gonzalez. Number 20, Joshua Cannon. Number 23, Michael Cespedes. Number 27, Kyle Clevin. Number 29, Christian Lopez Contreras. And starting to go for your Fighting Owls, number 1, Archie Bennett. Your Fighting Owls are led by head coach Phil Wardle, was assisted by David Art and Michael Euphemia.
Thank you to Rocco Jeppy running down the starting lineups for today's contest. And the two teams are saying thank you to the referees and shaking hands as we have the nightcap just minutes away from starting. Aaron Thomas in the broadcast booth once again, joined by my good friend Evan John here to give you or bring you all of the action as it's been a rivalry matchup on this Tuesday. Evan?
It has indeed. It's lived up to it here. And this one, the nightcap here, the men's side, Aaron, I'll tell you from watching the last few years, this rivalry can be intense. This is a fantastic nightcap under the lights with good reason, and I couldn't be more excited for this one coming up.
The loud music goes along with the attitude that these two teams share towards each other. Down with the sickness, down with each other. That's what they're thinking coming into this one, as the Fighting Owls are happy to be back here at the friendly confines of the Owl's Nest. The 2-game road trip, not very kind to them, as not only did they go down in both of the games, they were outscored in those 2 games 7-1, which matches the score that they laid down on PG in their opening season win. So, something's got to give here. A little bit of good, little bit of not so much for the Fighting Owls in the start of this season.
Yeah, definitely has been a little bit of a roller coaster ride to start the season, but a perfect game to right the ship and really come back down to earth a little bit for the Fighting Owls, and I don't think they would ask for a different opponent if they could handpick tonight.
And we are just minutes away from the opening whistle here. This is a ranked matchup here for the Fighting Owls, going 1-on-1 with the number 16 ranked Montgomery College Raptors. And possession does indeed start with the Raptors, who are in the black jerseys, and the Fighting Owls in the home white. starting the feeling out process and also looking for the day's first goal as these two programs went head-to-head with their women's teams in game number 1, and it was 90 minutes of nothing but just tremendous defense.
And we thought from the get-go we were going to get some goals in that game. We thought we might be a little bit of a high-scoring game. It didn't work out that way, and we were pretty surprised.
What will catch us by surprise here in this second matchup? You know that something is going to catch our eye early here. Which one of these two teams is going to get out to the early momentum lead, and could it maybe even lead to an early lead in the game? We certainly did think that we were going to see our fair share of goals in that first game, like you said, Evan, but we eventually weren't surprised that we didn't see any because there was so many great defensive plays, though there wasn't a lacking of great offensive plays either. Certainly lots of chances, but that's then. This is now. Looking to watch the men's teams go to work, and Fighting Owls got the ball deep in their offensive zone looking for their first look at offense.
Definitely a crazy affair in the first one. We were talking too a little bit. I mean, we were tied at 0 as our final score. We could just as easily had a low-scoring football game, honestly, too. Tons of chances out there in the early one today.
First good chance here for Harford, as it is a Fighting Owls corner right in front of us on the near sideline. They lead the player in with the short kick. He tries the laser a crossover. It's deflected. Second effort. Gets through a whole bunch of sets of legs, but no real opportunity at a look at goal. So the corner that was taken by Christian Lopez, the corner was taken by Lucas Britos. Lopez was the one who eventually got the shot that was blocked. Goalkeeper here for the Raptors is Xavier Fernandez Mendia, and Archie Bennett is getting the start in the net for the Fighting Owls.
This is a matchup that's really been very even over the past few years, going back to May 14th of 2021. That's a slate of 10 games between the two sides. It's 5-5.
Wow.
Deadlocked even, and that goes back to their playoff game on November 2nd of last year that Harford had to win in a penalty shootout, too. So couldn't be more even, these two sides, the last couple of years.
Wow, that is an incredible stat. And the action so far here in the first 4 minutes living up to just that, as both teams have gotten the ball deep into their offensive zone, but still searching for that first look. And I think that even matchup goes even back to last year's matchup. I think that was a 0-0 tie between the two teams, right? So we're looking for the first goal between the Fighting Owls and Raptors going back a year.
Yeah, it's been a while since a ball has found the back of the net in regulation, and we'll see if we get one here tonight. Harford hosting.
Tough play there as the Raptors player runs into a difficult spot. Everyone's got a right to that ball, but you got to be aware of where your player's head is, where the other player's head is. So a dangerous play and a card issued to the Fighting Owls early in this one. We may see an early injury timeout as well, as referee giving the player a little time. We'll see if he stays in the game. He appears that he will do so. Those are always tough plays. You understand the foul call and the yellow card issued to Cameron Calvert. Those 50-50 balls, another player sticks their head right there in the middle of the action. Everyone's got a right to that ball. Everyone is fighting for it. Raptors player comes up a little worse for wear.
Yeah, those 50-50 balls are always tough, too. Of course, the intensity is turned up here. Both guys want that ball, and they want it more than anything, and sometimes it just ends up like that every now and then.
Archie Bennett. Oh, my. Tough spot as that one deflects off of a Raptors player as Bennett tries to put the boots to it. And a little bit too much hand fighting, says the referee, as that's 2 early whistles already in this game. This one going against the Raptors. That was a little brush with danger early as Bennett was trying to find the clear with the foot. And you saw that blocked with the backside of one of the Raptors forwards. What an athletic play.
Yeah, definitely athletic to get in there, disrupt the goalkeeper for the Fighting Owls, and definitely see that intensity early on here, just first 5 minutes so far.
Those plays where you want to get in there and disrupt the goalie, those are really dangerous plays offensively. Obviously, you want to put the pressure on, don't want to give them anything easy, but the goalie is treated a little bit differently, a little kid glove, so to speak. If you make contact with them, well, you're going to have to pay for it, and there's usually a card involved. So good heads-up play to create the extra opportunity and stay out of the danger zone and away from the keeper. Not much of a feeling out process in this one. These two teams came out throwing big punches early, but neither one of them landing anything, as we are almost 6 minutes into the contest, and it's still zeros on the big board. Zeros on the big board and also on the shots on goal category. Harford with the only shot so far in this one. Bennett did get tested a little bit, but they haven't been able to put one on net yet, the Raptors.
Yeah, no crazy dangerous chances so far yet these first few minutes. That feeling out process kind of unfolding a little bit here early on.
Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe the feeling out process was slow to get here. The two teams kind of came out of the gates and got that ball deep into their offensive zones on both sides very quickly, but now the action's slowing down a little bit here over the last couple minutes as two teams trading possessions. And a little bit too much hand fighting once again, says the referee, as you saw the Fighting Owls player content to use the body as a shield. Raptors trying to figure a way around the shield, unable to do so. There's a free kick about 20 yards into their offensive zone. Great chance for them to put the boots into it. See if they can get a bouncing ball situation. Back line. Raptors are there first, trying to get the clear now. They overrun it just a little bit. And that gives... No, it's last touch by the Fighting Owls, says the referee. It's a throw-in for the Raptors. Missed opportunity for the Fighting Owls there, an early one. A lot of airtime on that ball. Had players over there, but could not get the first touch on it.
Yeah, it was a dangerous place for that free kick there to start. Just a little too far.
Dangerous play here as that one touches the back of the net. Defense to offense with some urgency. The Fighting Owls were trying to get the first touch there and then turn it into the clear. You saw the Raptors get the steal, and then the 2-on-1 breakaway leads to the game's first goal, and it is for the Raptors as they take the early lead in this one. We'll see.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity of putting, or good example, of putting the defense into offense and able to close the deal this time early on in the first half.
Oscar Alvarado, Celis.
Alvarado, Celis. Time of the goal, 7 minutes, 30 seconds.
7 minutes and 30 seconds into the first half. Oscar Alvarado, Celis finds the first goal that these fans have seen here today. Went 90 minutes without a goal in the first game, and 7 minutes into game number 2, the Raptors start the scoring early. Fighting Owls trying to answer quickly. Finding a little bit of space in the middle, but could not get the clear. Oh my! This time it was a 1-on-3 break towards the goal. And the Fighting Owls, the numbers working in their favor as they're able to get the stop this time. Very close to shooting a toe off there. Oh my! This time the deflection on the other side for the Fighting Owls. Almost quickly answering with a chance on their other end. Oh, wow.
Really
what a
aggressive
moment.
play there. Just about paid off for Harford that time. Just a little bit of a miss hit there on the deflection, but almost a really, really fast and big response from Harford.
I think part of that deflection was created by a lack of urgency on the Raptors side. You saw the goalie letting that ball play to him. He wanted to get it into a situation where he could pick it up, but you saw that ball rolling towards him slowly gave the Fighting Owls enough of a chance to get right there in front of him, and by the time he realized he was in a dangerous spot, it was almost too little too late.
Yeah, Harford definitely with that aggressiveness causing some chaos for the keeper there. Almost created a goal.
And that is a really good sign if you're a Fighting Owls player, coach, or fan, as the urgency picked up a little bit after surrendering that lead. They're down, but certainly not out, trying to get right back into it. Exchanging physical tackles. Fighting Owls getting the wrong side of it. Whistle against them, 10 minutes into the first half. 1-0 game for the Raptors. Raptors elect for the short kick. Happy to play a little keep away. They have established the early pace in this game, and it is now the Fighting Owls' job to answer it.
Yeah, they definitely set the tone early here, and now, like you said, Harford's responsibility to respond to that and try to create their own tone, their own pace in this first half.
Some early physical play on both sides as another whistle in this game. This one goes against the Raptors, blows or brings their offensive run to a stop. Fighting Owls trying to find that clear. Looking for the passing lane. Couple of head balls in a row. 50-50 ball won by the Raptors, but only for a moment. As the Fighting Owls midfield separates the ball carrier from the ball. Two teams going back and forth with possession. Back and forth contest continues. Fighting Owls trying to find that through ball up on the near sideline. They had numbers and a lot of green space in front, but could not connect the first pass. Forwards looking to apply the pressure now as they create the steal. Couldn't hold on to it. Fighting Owls working hard to try and tilt the field a little bit. Space now on the near sideline as they switch fields after the steal. Oh, what a flick! Could not get the first touchdown. That was a missed opportunity for the Fighting Owls. Great first touch on the pass. First touch on the receive, not as much.
Yeah, it's a great idea there, for sure.
Oh, my. What a shot. And it looks like it was wide of the net. Goalie
saw that one coming there.
You absolutely did. That was coming from the middle of the field where there was a lot of space and a great area to rip a shot off. But a great effort play from the goalie as he was ready if it was on net. Luckily for him, it wasn't. Raptors looking to turn on the cross here, and there's an offsides flag as Fighting Owls team did a good job of moving as a line, getting that offsides flag to work as an extra defender.
These games between Harford and Montgomery, too, also never really super lopsided. Since their history began in 2009 was their first meeting, the largest margin of defeat and victory for Harford is 3 goals on either side.
Wow. Tight contests all the way around. That really defines a rivalry right there, as well as how many times they play a year, which we talked about in the women's game. These programs, their teams are familiar with squaring off in the regular season and in the postseason, as this Division I Region 20 matchup usually has playoff implications.
And that's a really good point, too, right? Most of these rivalries in general, usually both teams are pretty competitive, right? And especially these two kind of, not only are they local to each other and big time, competitive teams, but they also, if you want to advance farther in the tournaments, outside of the region, you usually have to go through one another to do it.
Certainly can understand why it breeds contempt. We've seen that already. Some physical play, and what a through ball, but just a little bit too much mustard on that pass. Fighting Owls inches away from tying this game up there. Bouncing around at the midfield. Trying to force it in towards the box. Good cross. No one there to catch it, though. And a whistle now slowing play down for a moment, as that will be a free kick, it looks like, for the Raptors in their defensive zone. Now under 30 minutes to play in the first half. These two teams have played 15 minutes. Raptors grab the early lead, but the Fighting Owls have come very close, dangerously close, to tying this game back up. Referee plays for advantage as the loose ball goes the way of the Fighting Owls. And how quickly the tables turn, as it looked like it was going to go the way of the Fighting Owls, but then it was quickly going the other way. But a nice little friendly roll for the team in the white jerseys. Keeps the ball on this side of the field, at least for a moment. Oh, nice flick there. Once again, just couldn't get the second touchdown.
It's been a very fast-paced game so far, 2.5 hours now. We've kind of been running the whole time here, really. Very fast-moving this first half.
Mirroring what we saw at different stages in the first game between these two programs' women's teams. Back and forth action and long extended runs at the goal. Though right now, both teams low on shot totals. 2 for the Raptors, 1 for the Fighting Owls. Only one of those shots going on goal for the Raptors, and no shots on goal so far for the Fighting Owls. But I think we're starting to see something here develop a little bit once the Fighting Owls have possession of the ball. They're extending the team outwards and then stretching them in, but now they're going to have a little bit of a hill to overcome, as it's now 2 unanswered goals to start the contest. Blink and you missed it. The Raptors got that ball deep into their offensive zone, loaded up the cannon, and buried the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, they're coming out strong tonight. For sure. They've definitely had a lot of possession, a lot of chances, and they've closed on those chances that they've had inside the box. Both goals very well placed, right bottom corner of the net there. And like you said, Harford with some work to do now, but a lot of time to do it.
Down, but certainly not out, as there is a lot of time left in this game, but they got to figure out something defensively, as the only 2 shots on goal for the Raptors have resulted in goals scored. And I'm no math genius, but you'll live on that math more times than not. And Oscar Alvarado Celis is knocking on the door of joining the hat trick club. That is 2 goals in the game for him.
Assisted by number 8, Marcelo Martinez-Guerrero. Time of the goal, 17 minutes, 7 seconds.
So going back away, the Fighting Owls were outscored 7-1 in their last 2 games, and that is now 9-1 if you include the 2 goals scored in this one. A tough run defensively for this Fighting Owls team, and they will look to find the right steps to to make sure that they can reverse that trend here against their rival, the Raptors. The Raptors showing early signs why they got that number 16 next to their name. They don't just give away those numbers. You got to earn them. The Raptors showing why they've got it so far.
That's for sure. They're definitely earned, and we're seeing why it's earned here for the Raptors. This is a very good team here in Harford tonight. They're definitely put together. They're refined, and they're looking like number 16 right now.
Trying to get back on the merry-go-round as they take possession after the throw-in. Two teams approaching the 25-minute mark. Nice ball played in towards the middle. Good strike, but it's wide of the net. That was a tough break for the Fighting Owls there as they were in position for the cross. Got the clear for a moment, but it was rolling right into a great goal-scoring opportunity. Owen Lambardi with the shot there for the Raptors. When you can keep the pressure on, tilt the field a little bit like the Raptors have, you create those extra opportunities like that for yourself. Harford trying to feed Montgomery a little bit of their own medicine here as they have possession with a freebie in their offensive zone, and they'll try and tilt the field here a little bit. Oh my, good effort play to save it. There's a nice ball in the middle, and what an effort play to get the deflection at the last second for the Raptors. Fighting Owls will keep it here.
That looked like it was going to be a Harford goal right there, right in the middle. Harford Fighting Owls were in that box. Just a great defensive play by Montgomery to get it away.
And really, it started with a great defensive play for the Fighting Owls. I think they had that ball headed in towards the no man's land deep in that corner, and somehow they were able to separate the Raptors from the ball, get that ball squirting over towards the middle. And like you said, that was headed towards goal scoring. Fighting Owls almost got their first goal of the day. So many times you think about momentum stealing plays in games like this. You think about offense. Well, defensive stands certainly create a little offense or create a little momentum for themselves as well. Oh, good ball pressure at the midfield, sending the Raptors back a little bit. Now further back. Fighting Owls have come out punching here after surrendering that second goal. Their backs up against the wall. They realize they cannot allow this game to get any further away from them. It's still very much in a manageable spot right now, but another goal may be saying a little something different. Raptors establish pace with the first goal of the game. Fighting Owls came close to answering it, but instead, the Raptors have revved the pace up a little bit. They've sent
definitely
it
one
into...
of the better. Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you go right ahead.
Definitely one of the better Montgomery teams we've seen in recent years. Like we said, in the whole history of their matchups, the largest margin of defeat or victory, 3 goals, and already 2 here in the first half of the first half.
And Montgomery coming close to maybe a third here. And that one sent away. Initially, it looks like the goalie got a piece of it on the dive. And then the defense had to clear it over the end line, so there was no second effort on it. And as we check the scorecard on the live stats, indeed it was a save by Archie Bennett there. But he's not out of the danger zone just yet. Here's a corner kick for the Raptors. And they try and go for the short kick. They had someone coming towards the entrance of the box. Fighting Owls saw it. Good defensive stand.
Yeah, read really well there by the Harford defender. Step up in front of that, get it out of harm's way before anything even developed.
Good defensive stand going all the way back to the save made by Archie Bennett, as initially when the Raptors had that ball deep in their offensive zone, I didn't think they were going to be able to turn the corner and get that cross off, as the Harford defense was right there in perfect position. But once again, blink and you missed it. The Raptors make one touch and create a chance. This time, Archie Bennett able to make the save. And this game remains in a manageable 2-goal deficit for the Fighting Owls.
Yeah, took those words out of my mouth too. This Montgomery team good at creating those chances too. Even when they don't look like they just manufacture those opportunities to score and force things like those good saves in quarters that will turn into goals potentially later.
How you work in tight corners, such a defining spot for every team at this level, and really at every level. Oh, nice move. It's great to get that ball deep in your offensive zone, but the reality of having it right here is you're running out of real estate, and you got to work in tight spaces to create more chances or more space for yourself or teammates. You saw the Raptors do that beautifully there as they switch fields, but the rotation defensively perfect for the Fighting Owls as they were everywhere all at once.
Yeah, definitely seen a lot of pressure here from Montgomery too. We're playing a lot of this first half in Harford's end. A lot of, not all shots on goal, but a lot of shots being fired off by Montgomery here in the first half.
Hey, you're right. Not a lot of shots on goal, but at least half of the shots taken have been on goal, and that is good math. The coaching staff for the Raptors always going to live with that. 6 shots total, 3 of those 6 shots going on goal. And, of course, scoring on 2 of the 3. Man, all the numbers pointing in the direction of the Raptors right now as the backs are up against the wall once again for the Fighting Owls with the corner kick, far sideline. But no one running towards this one. This one's definitely going in towards the middle. Good, beautiful ball. And Bennett punches it over. My goodness. What an athletic play from Archie Bennett.
Archie Bennett with a great save there. Forces another corner, but we'll take that here as that chance looked like he was going to go in the back of the net, and Bennett pushed it over the bar.
Full extension, jumping to the tippy top of the ladder and punching that ball up and over the goalpost. And this time he's unable to do it as you saw him come off the line. But when he doesn't get it, you know the goal's wide open. Tough break there. 3 unanswered goals for the Raptors to start this contest.
Yeah, Raptors really ambushing the Fighting Owls here in the first half. Still just under 20 to play. In the first half, Harford find themselves down 3.
So Marcelo Martinez Herrero got credit for the assist, I'm sure, as he was the corner kick taker, but we are awaiting official word on the goal scorer. The song and dance. A tough one right now for this Fighting Owls team as the comeback trail is now starting to look like a mini mountain. And Miguel Renato Penavalia will get credit for the goal there. Hats off to the live stat team putting that one together because there were so many bodies in the middle of the action there. Tough to see who got a hand on it, a body on it, a foot on it. All we knew for sure is the goal was wide open when Bennett made the run off of the line, which is the only play he can make as a goalie. He's got to try and get a fist on that and punch it out of the danger zone. But when you don't get a body on it, you just hope that the defense is able to finish the job for you. Corner kick for Harford as they elect to go for the short kick. It was set up nicely. Had the cross coming afterwards, but of course it deflects off of a Raptors player. Still with a chance here for the Fighting Owls. What a strike and what a goal! The run finally comes to an end, and what a beauty!
I mean, that was just a gorgeous, gorgeous goal from outside the arc that time there. You're not going to find me a goalie anywhere that's going to stop that shot. Nothing you can do about that. You can't place that any more perfect. Harford maybe creating some energy of their own here in the first half.
Oh, you heard the energy coming from the fans afterwards. Everyone sitting on their hands, ready and waiting to come up out of their seats, and finally given a reason to do so as Ethan Dukin, with a laser of a shot, and they may have to restitch the net at the halftime break, as that one a laser into the back of the net for the first goal of the day for this Harford soccer team. A long time without a goal, as these Harford fans getting a little restless. Hope springs eternal here on this cold September day, as now everybody's thinking about the comeback.
Work to do, but a lot of time to do it here. Still just under 17 minutes in the first half.
Absolutely. So much time left in this one. And now a new feel and a different level of energy for this Harford team as the whistle goes against the Raptors. A free clear opportunity now for the Fighting Owls. It always starts with one. You got to find the first goal. And they have taken the first step on the comeback trail here. Looking to take a second before the halftime whistle, but definitely needing to keep this game in a manageable spot. Oh, my. Oh, wow. A blink and you missed it moment for the Fighting Owls as they went defense to offense with some urgency, and they just missed the net. Lucas Britos with the shot.
Wow, point blank, too. They're just that close to making this a one-goal game once again. Right there in front of the net. Just a missed opportunity that time for Harford. Really, really close. Good chance for the Fighting Owls.
And if there was any doubt at all about who has the momentum in this game, I think that solidified it right now. The Fighting Owls have grabbed the momentum here in this game after scoring their first goal of the day, and now the field is starting to tilt in their direction, and that is certainly giving the fans something to cheer about as you hear the fans coming alive here at the Owls' Nest. Everybody hoping that the boys can find one more before the halftime whistle.
Yeah, definitely a little louder in here than it was about 7 or 8 minutes ago, that's for sure.
Throw in on the near sideline. What a great job of using the body as a shield. Even better job to flick it over to a teammate, and it stays right here. We're seeing some trickery build for this Fighting Owls team. They're getting closer. Oh, my. And they shoot a toe off at the worst time possible.
Just about to say they were knocking on that door again a little bit there too, but Montgomery gets bailed out there on the change of possession.
Unforced error, and maybe the first one we've seen in quite some time for this Fighting Owls team, though they're able to get right back on the merry-go-round. They steal that ball at the midfield line. Long throw in. Almost heading into a dangerous spot, but that was a well-timed tackle from the Raptors player. A dangerous tackle, as he did make the tackle from behind, but he got all ball, so it's all good. Oh, my. Here's a moment. Here's a chance. Heel flick trying to get towards the goal, but no one there to finish the job. The Raptors out of the danger zone for a moment. And they are happy to slow this game down a little bit as The action has really sped up over the last 10 minutes or so, and it's all Fighting Owls right now, though the only thing that really matters is the score on the big board. That is still all Raptors, 3-1, with 13 minutes left in the first half. Raptors switching fields, looking to put the boots to it, and they do just that. And wow, they found the target on that one. And that is a long run in towards the goal, but there is finally the offsides flag.
It feels like it's been a few minutes since we've been down this end, too. Harford, like you said, definitely grabbing that momentum, keeping it in Montgomery's end, applying some pressure here in the first half.
And Harford has finally found a way to feed the Raptors what they have been feeding the Fighting Owls through most of this first half. Long possessions and tilting that field onto the other side, keeping the defense on their heels. Raptors quickly up into their side, and quickly Bennett is tested, and he answers. My goodness, what an athletic save. I hope the cameraman got that one. What a beauty. Full extension. This time, he doesn't have to punch it over the post. He's able to punch it away. Keep the clock rolling. Give the boys a chance to clear it out of the danger zone for good this time. They were unable to do that as Bennett has to pick it up this time. And he will put the boots to it himself. Archie Bennett, 3 saves in this game, but not all saves created equal. 2 of those 3 saves have been of the spectacular variety. I always like to say, even in games like this where the play or the end result doesn't go your way, that always ends up on the desk of the coach or a coach at a 4-year school somewhere, and that is the big goal for every player out there on the field, is to get a scholarship and be able to take their talents somewhere else when their time is done here at Harford or Montgomery.
Absolutely, and definitely a good athlete. Manning the net for Harford there, Archie Bennett, definitely showing some flashes some other coaches are going to love to see here tonight.
Harford looking to flash some offense now, as that's a beautiful ball in towards the box. Too much hand fighting, says the referee, though. The Owls, the Fighting Owls, 2 players there on that back post in the middle of the box trying to send that ball home.
It looked good. It was a good service in there for Harford. Just a little, like you said, too much hand fighting in the box.
I don't know if we got a wet spot on that part of the field. That's the second time a Raptors player has cleared the ball out of their zone and then slipped right over afterwards. Or maybe that's a new style of kick. I'm not sure. 10 minutes left in the first half. Fighting Owls looking to knock on opportunity's door once again. It was 3 unanswered goals for the Raptors. And then the Fighting Owls came alive. Oh, that's a head ball from the goalie, but it goes right to a Fighting Owls player. And what a tackle from the Raptors. That was something building for the Fighting Owls for sure.
I thought we might see a long-range effort right there from the Fighting Owls on that one. The goalie was way off his line, playing that ball outside the box.
And I'm sure the goalie probably felt that was his only play there, because remember, earlier in this first half, the Fighting Owls almost created a chance on a lack of urgency from the goalie. That time, a little too much urgency, and he still almost had to pay for it. Tough break. But the Fighting Owls have really changed the pace of this game, and they have grabbed the momentum. Got these fans thinking about a second goal here in the final 9 minutes of the first half. A lot of times in a game you say we have a tale of 2 cities or a tale of 2 stories in halves. You know, the team makes a halftime adjustment. Well, this Fighting Owls team seems to have made an adjustment in the first half, because this is a completely different team than we saw in the first 20 minutes or so.
I was going to say the first 20 and the last 20 here have looked very, very different, opposites of each other. Really, these 2 halves of the first half.
'Twas the best of times and the worst of times. Right now, the Fighting Owls living in the best of times, walking the comeback trail right now. They took the first step, trying to find that second step here. And of course, a big part of that is they have found their footing defensively. They are refusing to let that ball get over their head here. Taking good, solid runs towards the ball. And also finding good, quick clears. As we see a nice angle on the ball there with the head ball. That was headed towards the middle of the box. And now the Fighting Owls find the clear. Oh, but it's only for a moment. Raptors putting a ball in towards the middle, and again, the Fighting Owls are first there on the head ball. This Fighting Owls defense continues to take great angles to the ball, making sure they're the first ones to the 50-50 balls.
So that effort we talked about in the women's game earlier today, the first to the ball, that hustle to the ball, that want it more kind of aspect to the ball here.
And you saw that on display there on that play once again for the Fighting Owls as that ball was bouncing into a really good spot. But the defense for the Fighting Owls did a great job of using the body as a shield and leaving Bennett an opportunity to come up and get the mitts on it. He's the only one who can touch it with his hands, so give him a chance. Might as well. That's the best way to clear it out of the box. And now the Fighting Owls still finding that clear. Or I should have said still searching for that clear and now finally finding it. Oh my, what a heads-up pass. They have really stretched this Raptors defense out. And the Raptors commit a foul.
This could be a dangerous spot here for Harford. Could be a good service in the box, and this could be a chance to score here.
I think that is exactly what they're going for. You saw that good, strong passing game from the Fighting Owls, stretching the Raptors defense out, and now forcing it back in. What a beautiful ball in towards the middle. I believe the Raptors goalie got the mitts on it and he was able to punch it away. He was definitely able to save that one. And now here in the final 5 minutes, the ball is back into the defensive zone of the Fighting Owls. Raptors searching for the passing lane, finding it, and then losing it as the Fighting Owls clear it onto the other side. Saw the idea offensively there for the Raptors very clear. They were piecing those passes up the sideline and then through in towards the middle. That is where most of their goals have come from. Getting that ball in towards the middle with just enough space to load up and fire the cannon. Oh, it has been a long time without a goal for them after scoring 3 unanswered goals. Their last goal coming back in the 25th minute. The Fighting Owls were able to answer very quickly after that. Raptors got their 3rd goal in the 25th minute, and then the Fighting Owls got their 1st goal in the 27th minute, and then everything since then has been Fighting Owls. As we see a beautiful through ball, but just a little bit too much space out in front. An easy stop for the Raptors goalie.
Looked like a good opportunity brewing there for Harford. Like you said, just a little too much on that through ball there all the way back to the keeper.
Yeah, the Raptors were caught flat-footed there for a moment as that through ball not only got its way through, the Fighting Owls had at least even numbers on that break, as that was definitely something developing for the Fighting Owls as they're hunting for another goal here in the final 3 minutes and change. Pinballing around a couple of different head balls. Finally, the Raptors take control of it. Ball in the defensive zone of the Fighting Owls. Tackle attempt no good as the Raptors get around it. And that will be a corner kick, it looks like.
Entering the game for Montgomery, number 8, Marcelo Martinez-Herrero. Number 16, Ilian, Afonso.
Could be the 5th corner of the first half here for Montgomery.
And I believe their 4th corner was the one that they scored on. Remember, their 3rd goal did come on a corner kick. Beauty of a play in towards the middle. So a big challenge right here in front of the Fighting Owls in the final 3 minutes of the first half. Another beauty of a corner. Bennett maybe got his hands on it, or maybe his buddy in front of him got his head on it. Regardless, somebody with a Fighting Owls jersey got to it first and sent it out of the danger zone. That one was headed towards the front post. Dangerous spot there. Here's another dangerous spot, as this is good pressure put on by the forwards.
Yeah, definitely a fan of Bennett's aggressiveness on the corners so far. Not afraid to go tack the ball in his box. Command that it's his home there inside the 6-yard box.
I always think being aggressive like that is the right move. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable to a point-blank shot, because when everyone's right there, you do have to, like you say, establish that that is your home. But it also, when you come off the line and establish the aggressiveness, it clears people away from you, because sometimes in those bouncing ball situations, the goalie doesn't even get a chance to see it until it's too late, because he's got somebody in front of him. He doesn't even get a chance to see the ball. He's being screened, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely more to your point, too. Aaron, you're a big hockey guy. If you leave those bodies in front of you, 1, you're screened. 2, you're open to a whole bunch of potential deflections you can't even react to in time.
Absolutely, and Bennett has done a really good job of limiting those second chance opportunities. 2 of the 3 goals that he was beat on were really just lasers into the back of the net, where we were saying, well, no one's saving that one. And that is just the name of the game sometimes when you play goalie. Sometimes you just get beat by one where, hey, hats off to you. I know his counterpart on the other side is thinking that on the 1 goal that the Fighting Owls had, he probably wouldn't save that in a couple of lifetimes. Looks
you
like
could tell him what the shot was going to be, and he still couldn't save that one. It's gorgeous earlier.
Tough break for sure, but a huge first step on the comeback trail for this Harford Fighting Owls, and it looks like that first step is what's going to lead us into the second half, as these two teams now under 30 seconds to play in the first 45. Raptors looking for one last hoorah offensively. Fighting Owls trying to make sure they do not find it. And this game goes into the halftime break at a manageable 2-goal deficit. And it looks like that is going to be the case, as now the clock will hit triple zeros in just seconds. 3-1 the score at the end of the first half. Montgomery looked like they were starting to run away with it, but then the Fighting Owls really came alive, dominated the last 20 minutes of the game, and they've got us and everyone at the Owls Nest thinking about a big second half comeback. Stick around with Evan and I to see if they can find the right moves to walk to the end of the comeback trail. And we are back with the action on the field. Aaron Thomas and Evan John in the broadcast booth with you once again. And Evan, it was a tale of two cities in the first half alone. A 20-minute stretch dominated by Montgomery where they were able to put up 3 goals, and then a 20-minute stretch by the Harford Fighting Owls that was dominated on their end, but they were only able to get 1 goal. But of course, they did take the first step on the comeback trail. Can they take another? That is the question now.
Yeah, I think they took a step on the comeback trail, but they also kind of proved something to themselves as well, that they can compete here. They can take care of Montgomery if they play well. They just maybe had to prove it to themselves a little bit after the first 2 goals in this one.
A little bit of a feeling out process here early in the second half, as I'm sure both of these two teams had 2 very different halftime speeches from their coaches. What kind of halftime adjustments do you think the Fighting Owls are looking to make here in the second half? Oh, man. And just as we ask you that, Evan, it's a tough break for the Fighting Owls. They had 2 chances to get to that centering pass, and both players could not get to it. And it is goal number 4 on the board for the Raptors now. I'm sure that'll change some of the adjustments that the Fighting Owls are looking to make, but probably still the same, though, right?
Yeah, I think we just saw what Montgomery was talking about in their locker room. Probably have just come out like we did in the first half to start the second half, and we'll go home with a win, right? I think we just saw that there. But for Harford, I think Coach Bartle and the staff will just say, we can beat these guys. We did it last year, and we showed ourselves that we can take care of them at the end of that first half. It was all us that last 20 minutes. Let's just keep doing that, work that way, and whatever happens. Just play like we know that we can. And if we come up short, we come up short. But I think the big takeaway here is playing like Harford knows they can, and if they feel good about this game, it's the number 16 team in the nation. You're not gonna wish. You're gonna wish you would have had it, but then again, it's a really good team, and I think just kind of this stage of the season, kind of play into who they are.
I think that's a really great point, because even if they're unable to pull off the second half comeback and get the victory, or maybe even tie this game up, I still think that there's plenty of opportunities for the Fighting Owls to take a step forward in this season and learn something from a matchup like this. Like you said, this is the number 16 team ranked in this at this level, so it is a very good team on the other side in this Montgomery Raptors team. And sometimes you're the buzzsaw, and sometimes you get cut up by the buzzsaw, and it is just one of those days at the office, at least so far, for this Fighting Owls team. Though they're looking to erase that goal that they surrendered a minute ago right here with a freebie deep in their offensive zone. Everyone ready to run into the middle of the box. That's a good strike. Raptors get to it first, but it's sent right back into the middle. But, oh, wow, that was closer than I thought.
Yeah, that's an awkward one for a keeper. You're backing up onto the goal line there. It's floating back to you. You kind of got to keep it out of the net while going into the net yourself. It looks like an easy fly ball, kind of, if you will, but not one you like as a keeper.
No, not at all, because he has to be going backwards, and not only does he have to make that catch, he needs to make sure he makes that catch cleanly, because any rebound opportunity is almost a surefire goal on the other side. And that was a clean catch of the cannonball. Good strike from the Fighting Owls just to create an opportunity off of that, as that looked like a missed chance until it wasn't. My, oh my, what a change in feel in this game after surrendering that early goal in the second half. 46th minute of the game. Ilian Afonso gets the 4th goal of the day for the Raptors. Raptors looking for another one played in towards the middle. Fighting Owls are there, but it's stolen back by the Raptors. Oh, nutmeg! Shot! What a save! Second effort! How about a third? My goodness, he will not be denied! What an offensive play, or the beginnings of an offensive play, as he split the wickets on the defense but could not beat the goalie.
I mean, what a play there by Bennett in the net. He, like you said, he had to make 3 of those saves consecutively. He lived up to every test.
Will say there is a chance that second save was made by a defender who was in front of him, but regardless, answering the challenge and a huge defensive stand for the Fighting Owls. They'll need to make another one, as it'll be a second corner. And that is the kind of defensive play that can grab some momentum for a team. Can the Fighting Owls build on it? Need to make another stop here. Big strike, wide of the net, and that's the offsides flag. Boys and girls at home, though, Archie Bennett came off the line beautifully there. That is going to be circled by his goalie coach. He came off the line and made himself as big as possible, extended his arms as wide as he could. Sounds like a strange idea to get low and wide at the same time, but that's how the goalie coaches teach it. Come out, slide towards the ball, and extend those arms as wide as you can. Bennett didn't have to make the save that time, but he was ready to make another one.
Another dangerous spot here for the Fighting Owls as well in this free kick.
Great opportunity. Harford plays it in towards the middle, and there's great goalie play on the other side as he punches it away. But this is going to be another freebie for the Fighting Owls, and an even better spot.
Yeah, this could be a direct shot one here, too. This is a big-time free kick for the Fighting Owls.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting spot. As you know, the Raptors will set up the wall here. How many players will be there? Looks right now like the Raptors are going for a 3-man wall. I'm sure this is a direct kick, so that second player over there may be ready for some trickery. Harford trying to take a big second step on the comeback trail here. Free kick right outside the box. Here's the kick, and it's right into the hands of the goalie. Sometimes you make a catch not in the webbing of your glove when you're playing baseball. You catch it right there on the hand or the palm, and it stings a little bit. I imagine that was one of those saves like that for the goalie, as that was a laser off the foot, but he caught it cleanly. Probably had to shake the hands afterwards, as that was a stinger.
But also, to talk about the halftime talks, too, I'm sure that Coach Wardle, too, he's never going to tell his guys to concede and that we're going to, lose the game and be okay with that. But also, 4 goals is a big swing to win a game, right? In a half, and well, now it'll be 4. It'd be 3 to win the game before. But also, I think he'd be content, too. This is a good team, 16 seed in the nation, like we said. If you just win the second half and move on to the next one, I think he'd also be pleased.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a very good point and really ties back to what we were saying earlier in the second half, where even if they're not able to pull off the comeback victory or even tie this game up, just winning the second half or showing great signs of what they saw in the late stages of the first half, that's something to build on, and that's something to learn from, as every loss is just a lesson. Not to get philosophical, but that is the reality of it, and I'm sure that's what coaches are telling the players in a game like this.
Yeah, it rings so true, right? It's early season, you're learning your new teammates and stuff like that. Some of these guys haven't played together ever before. This is a big time for this team, and guess what? If you lose this one, it's a good chance you might see him again when it matters more later, right?
Absolutely. Just got to do a little bit extra work, and there's plenty of times and chances for them to put the extra work in, but it'll be a long stretch away from home for the Fighting Owls after this, as it's another 3-game road trip. But we'll talk about that in a moment, as now here is another free kick. This one just outside of the box. Fighting Owls are getting these extra opportunities, trying to hang around here with 35 minutes left. I don't know if that was over or through the wall, but regardless, it got to Ethan Duncan, who got a headshot on but could not send it over towards the goal. Missed opportunity for Harford. Goal kick here for the Raptors. Raptors elected to go short on the kick there, but they did find the clear eventually. Trying to find some space on this throw-in here. Raptors happy to play keep away. They established the pace early, and they just revved it up ever since then.
We talked about that schedule coming up for Harford as well. They're going to go out west a little bit, Western Maryland anyway. That is, they're going to visit Garrett College, Allegheny College, and Hagerstown Community College the next 3 times on the pitch.
That is their 3-game road trip, and waiting for them when they return is a nice matchup against the number 10 ranked team at this level, as right now the Harcum Bears will be their next home game on the schedule after this one, and they currently have that number 10 next to their number, or next to their name. So the fans and us here in the broadcast booth, we get a lot of chances to see this Fighting Owls team go up against some really good competition. Fighting Owls themselves. No easy games on the schedule, but there never is.
Yeah, really, really good teams coming to Harford Community this year.
Raptors had it on the freebie. Action is slowed down here a little bit over the last 2 to 3 minutes, as this Montgomery team is really happy and willing to just play keep away. As I said a minute ago, they established the pace early and just, kept finding more and more space and more gears to rev it up. 4-1 now on the big board, and Harford unable to match the pace at any point here. Even with those long stretches of offense in the late stages of the 20 minutes, or late stages of the first half. It's still always been the Raptors' game here in this one. Up in towards the middle, looking for space. Finding a little bit of it. Running out of real estate as the Raptors taking over on the sideline. Fighting Owls down big in this one, but certainly not out in this one, and also not slowing down the passion from these fans. Fans are still loud and proud, want to see the boys put their best foot forward, and they're certainly trying to do that here. Got to find an established possession, as it's been a long stretch of hot potato with the ball. Now finally Harford with it in the middle. A little bit of space, but only for a moment, as that space was quickly shut down. Good angle towards the ball. Good angle defensively, though, for the Fighting Owls, as they're able to get the offsides flag on their side.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing why this team is the number 16 team in the nation, too. They are really, really good, and they, like we said earlier in the first half, too, they don't just capitalize on chances they're given, but they can really create good chances out of ones that don't look like much.
Fighting Owls trying to take that ball in towards the middle of the field, being sent away, but possession stays with them, on the near sideline. Oh, good ball in towards the middle, but the Raptors are there first. And it was offside, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Harford definitely threatening though. It's funny because it's a 4-goal deficit, but it's not domination though. They're definitely having their own chances, getting in the box themselves, just not finishing like Montgomery has.
Yeah, it's a very, very good point because they did have that 20-minute stretch in the first half where Harford was really controlling the pace of play and tilting the field on their side. They, of course, got that 1 goal, but when you look at the numbers in the game, 3 shots on goal total for this Harford team. So, it's not domination. You're absolutely right. But, man, oh, man, they're just not being able to piece things together with enough frequency. But like you said here, in the second half, the coaching staff still got to be happy and realizing that they're right there in the game. And I'm sure that was the message to the team at halftime that, like you said, it's not domination. They're right there. They just need some of those plays to go their way and maybe a few extra plays.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something that Coach Wardle probably led with at the halftime speech too, is that it's 3-1, but that second half was all us. That was all us. If you're being Coach Wardle, that was all us. We kind of controlled that second half of the second half, or second half of the first half, kind of thing, and trying to build on that coming in.
And I'm sure they felt like they were really going to be able to build on that. But then a goal about 1 minute and 30 seconds into the second half, man, it really just sent this entire game for a tailspin. I think everyone in the building was ready to see a tightly contested second half. And we still are seeing a tightly contested second half. Only 1 goal surrendered in this second 45, but that 1 goal did feel like a backbreaker, so to speak, when it was on the side of the team that was already up 2.
Yeah, definitely a good point there, too. I think maybe whatever the speech or the game plan was going into the second half, I don't think we really got to see it to its true potential because that 4th goal came so quickly, and it really did feel like it hurt a lot, that 4th one.
It actually, it's a great point because it really, it's a great point because it really kind of seems like now we're just now starting to see the adjustments from Harford in the second half. They were almost kind of knocked on their heels to a point where they were just now able to adjust. And we see a beautiful ball played in towards the offensive zone as the keeper was out of position for a moment. And we will take a break as you can see his leg is up there indicating a little cramping action. The trainer will come out onto the field at the 27-minute mark of the second half. Everybody looking to take a little break. 4-1 on the big board. Harford down, but still not out. Is there an epic second half comeback in store for these fans? Stick around with us and find out. I wish the best for the goalie who is coming out of the game for this Raptors team, but if you're a Fighting Owls player, coach, or fan, that's a little bit of a, well, somewhat positive sight to see. You had a hot goalie in there, and now you've got a goalie who's coming into a game cold and going to be tested here in a big spot. Fighting Owls. Maybe a little luck turning their way. Always
Only
tough.
time will tell on that, the last half hour or so here.
And this was around the point where they scored late in the first half to start their 20-minute stretch of domination, so to speak. So you're saying there's a chance. Well, there's certainly a chance, but it's looking like slim and none right now. And time is not on the side of the Fighting Owls.
Yeah, clock definitely not the friend of Harford in this one.
Right into the teeth of the defense, and the Fighting Owls separating the ball carrier from the ball just in time as he went around a couple of defenders but could not get around the last one. Fighting Owls finding the big clear finally as it's sent onto the other side of the field. Avery Langford is now the goalie for the Raptors. Xavier Fernandez Mendia was the goalie who left the game for the Raptors. As we see a beautiful tackle in the box, and now a second, and here comes the whistle. Oh my. Harford comes up on the wrong side of the whistle here, it looks like, as that one is going.
Penalty.
Yep, it is going to be a penalty kick there. One of those tackles got too much body, says the referee. Really tough to say where we are here in the broadcast booth, but oh man, regardless, we'll move on just like the game is. Here is a big spot. The kick. And no save as he dives to the wrong side. It's a guessing game, and he guessed wrong. Tough break for Harford as Montgomery puts another one on the board.
That's a really tough one if you're the Fighting Owls. Tough break there, just a tough play inside the box and cost you a goal, unfortunately, and now down 4 here with just over 25 minutes to play.
So 3 unanswered goals to start the first half, and now 2 unanswered goals to start the second half. It has us in a position of 5-1. Penalty kick goal, Paolo Perez is the goal scorer for the Raptors. So 5 goals from a handful of different players. Four different goal scorers total here for this Raptors team. Ball stays on this part of the field as this game takes another turn in the direction of Montgomery. Harford trying to keep this body language strong, keep the fight going. Like you said earlier, Evan, plenty of opportunities for them to learn something from this game, put their best foot forward. Save there from Bennett as he comes off the line.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway too, right? Just the learning from this game, learning more about yourself and your team, and just taking those learning experiences into the upcoming schedule.
A little too much hand fighting there on the sideline, but Possession stays here on this side as we are officially into the 25th minute of the contest. And it'll be that 3-game road trip in towards Western Maryland, like you said, the game against Garrett, and then Allegheny and Hagerstown. A long road trip may do the team some good as they'll have a chance to reflect on, what hasn't been the best of starts to the season. The Harford Fighting Owls is going to be probably falling to 1-3 on the season, but still so much time left in this year, and this could be the learning moment and the teachable moment that kickstarts this team into another direction as we see the ball go into the side of the net. At the beginning of every year, every team wants to get off to a hot start. They want to get off to a winning streak to start the season, come out of the starting gate, blazing saddles, so to speak. All engines going in the right direction, but there is starts to the season that look like this. And this could be the game that they circle at the end of the year where they say, well, it all changed after that one. We finally found our footing. We figured out what we needed to do and what we couldn't do. And then for us, it all changed after that one game. And maybe this game against the Raptors is that one game for the Fighting Owls.
It definitely could be, too. Like you said, that time away could be a good thing, too.
Oh, my. What a beautiful play in towards the middle. Tic-tac-toeing that ball into a good goal-scoring area. But once it found the middle of the box, couldn't play it with control.
That time on the road could be a really good thing too, like you said, with the team, and you're out west and you're only around each other for the better part of a week, right? Can't get more team building than that, really, when all you do is see each other all day, every day for the better part of a week. You really get to learn about each other. It's still early, you have practices and stuff like that, but you're really getting to know your teammates in a lot of ways still, and that's kind of a really good chance to build that brotherhood, if you will. That team, that three-game Western trip for them.
I think that's a very good point because 2 of those games really are back-to-back, or actually are back-to-back. They play Garrett later this week on Thursday, and then next week, Monday and Tuesday, games on back-to-back days, one against Allegheny and then against Hagerstown. So, yeah, they probably will going to have a long stretch of this time where they are really digging in with one another. And it's time to look inwards. It's time to look at each other and say, let's do it here and let's solve our problems right here in the room. They know that they can. They've got the talent on the pitch. Just got to find the rhythm. Start playing their best soccer. And if they could do that, they could really put themselves in a position where they could be playing their best soccer when it matters most, because a slow start to the year could mean a hot finish to the year, and that's what really matters.
I think you said it perfectly, right? But the talent's not the issue here, right? You have a great goalkeeper. We've seen that tonight. You have, good attackers. We've seen that tonight as well. It's just that rhythm, really, that chemistry and that rhythm and that, that gel together kind of thing. I think that's all that's missing right now here from this team.
And this men's team has played fewer games than the women's team has, so it's still somewhat of a feeling out process into the season, as you said. Still players out there playing together for the first time, and maybe even groups of players playing together for the first time, as maybe the coaching staff is still figuring out the right lineup and different combinations of players to bring out the best in this team. As I'm sure the coaching staff would say, it's certainly not all on the players. We got to do a little bit better and be a little bit better. This 1-3 start to the season is on us as well. Everybody wants to put it forward, put it behind them, I should say.
I definitely think you would hear that from them too. Just it's a team effort, right? The team doesn't just wear the jerseys either, right? They're on the sidelines as well, putting the jerseys together out there, and I think they're learning about the team just like the players learn about each other. And I think it all collectively comes together, and I think we'll see really good season from this Harford Fighting Owls squad.
one of my favorite things you like to talk about or point out in sports and with coaching in particular is sometimes you'll hear coaches say, are we a club or are we a team? And clubs, well, they just hang out. Teams hold themselves accountable and they really act like a family. And these are the kind of games and moments where you have to establish that we are a team, not a club. And we're going to put this behind us, but we're also going to figure out what we can learn from this to make sure that we don't end up in the same situation again and we grow from this.
Yeah, I love that point, too. I think a really good thing, too, I've noticed kind of in the details, if you will, about this game, too, is that it's been a frustrating game for Harford. It's a 5-1 deficit. They're frustrated, I'm sure. It's a team they want to beat every time they come out. And when these goals have happened, when the balls have trickled through, and the guys are unmarked and getting those easy finishes, one thing I've seen from Harford that you don't see from every team that's out there, there's no finger point. There's no blame game of that was your man, no, that was your guy. And they're a team. They take accountability, and they're not turning on each other. I think that's a kind of like an obvious thing, but also not on every team is that the case.
No, it is. It's one of those things that should be obvious, but it's not. And actually, there's more than a few goals that we could point to. And if we watch this game back later on, that I remember where there was guys actually pointing to themselves, saying, "My bad, I should have been there," or "My bad, I missed out on that clear attempt and the ball got past me." That is the mark of a team, holding themselves accountable and each other accountable.
Yeah, I think we definitely see the makings of a true team and not a club here, like you said. I think it just has to come together just a little bit more here as we get into the season.
And you know what? The real true reality of this game is, yes, the Fighting Owls are going to be falling to 1-3 on the season with this loss, but bigger picture, 1-1 in the conference. That's a pretty good start. You'll take that. These conference games matter more, and they're in pretty good standing so far in the conference. So just got to put their best foot forward after this one, and a great opportunity with that 3-game road trip. No ranked opponents on that 3-game road trip either. So let's see what it has.
Conference opponents as well.
All conference opponents, are they? I'm not as familiar with what all the teams are in the conference, but that is also a great sign. They could really come out of that 3-game road trip in a real good spot, putting this tough 1-3 start completely behind them and being in a dominant spot in the conference.
And all three, too, I have to double check on it. All three, of course, are conference games, but I think the back two, Allegheny and Hagerstown, I believe, those are also 2 Region 20 affairs as well. I believe.
And like we saw in game number 1, and we were reminded a few times by the athletic staff, that was a game that had playoff implications, and so does this one. Region 20, Division 1 matchup. 2 teams that very well may be seeing each other in the postseason. Did you say they saw each other in the postseason last year, right?
They did, yes. Harford taking that one on penalty kicks. That was at Montgomery last year.
So it was the regular season game that finished over at in a scoreless contest in their last meeting, and then of course in the playoffs, Harford getting the best of Montgomery last year. So they're hoping for more of that here this season, I'm sure. We heard from our PA announcer Rocco Jeppi with the change in goal. Luca Cheney now in goal for Harford. He wears double zeros and getting a chance to see some action in between the pipes. Tough day at the office for the starting goalie for the Fighting Owls, but hey, it could have been a lot worse, as overall he made 7 saves in the game, Archie Bennett.
And I was going to say, we definitely saw some great flashes from him as well at times this evening.
One of those games where he certainly didn't get the result that he was looking for, but it could have been a lot worse and would have been a lot worse if he wasn't in the net making the saves that he was. Hats off to him, and hopefully he's able to put this one behind him quickly. I'm sure he is. I always imagine one of the key things about playing goalie is having a short memory. You got to be able to put it behind you, and you got to be able to put it behind you quickly. Ball bouncing around between the two teams at the midfield line. Going back and forth with possession, finally established with the Raptors for a moment. Under 15 minutes to play in the second half. These two teams have played a full 30 minutes in the second half. Two goals by the Raptors. The only scoring we've seen in the second half. Not much offensively for this Fighting Owls team, as the Raptors have really tightened their grip on this game, not just offensively, but they've also really limited the chances offensively for this Fighting Owls team, as whatever the adjustment was for them at the halftime period, well, it certainly worked out.
Yeah, Montgomery's definitely locked it up here in the second half. They have put themselves together. This is a really good team this year in the Raptors.
Smothering performance all around. Of course, the 5 goals on the big board, all that really matters, but also really limiting the chances on the other side. 6 shots total for this Harford team, 3 shots on goal, and I believe they have been held without a shot in the second half. Though my math can never be counted on.
I'll second that for sure. I am not the math guy in the room. I promise you that.
My dad always said growing up, I was told there would be no math. I wasn't sure what he was talking about, and then I grew up and realized, oh, yeah, well, I know exactly what he's talking about. Sometimes the math is unavoidable. And the math not adding up here for the Fighting Owls, as it is a tough day at the office, but a coachable moment, and life is full of them. And I got a feeling that we may be right about this Fighting Owls team. I think this is going to be the game that they circle on their season, where they say they can look back and point to this game right here where it all changed for this Fighting Owls team.
Yeah, that's for sure. Sometimes the losses are the best thing that happens to a team out there, and that could be the case here for Harford for sure.
Always great when you can look at yourself and your teammates and say, hey, look, we can only go up from here. Being down and out like they are here in this game and in a tough spot to the start of the season, can only go up from here. And you're in control of that. You're in control very much still of your destiny in this season. This Harford team, that's what they're going to tell themselves at the end of this game, and they are going to show themselves, the coaching staff, and the fans that they're going to put their best foot forward as they have that 3-game road trip after this one over into Western Maryland.
Definitely a philosophy in all sports for sure, especially here tonight applicable. And you take a loss. All teams are going to take losses. It's all about how you bounce back, how you respond to it as a team, and I think we'll definitely see that when they go out west.
Fans, if you're interested in seeing the results for those contests, those are road games, so we will not be able to broadcast those games, but you check out the Harford Athletics website and go to the schedules tab where you see men's soccer, and make sure you check out the game highlights or live stats for after the game and catch the action and see the results, as this Thursday they will be at Garrett for their next contest, and then it is the 15th and the 16th of next week, Allegheny and then Hagerstown, and then the 20th of September, Fighting Owls will be back here at the Owl's Nest for a matchup with the Harcum Bears. And there is number 6 on the board. 1 touch, and then 1 shot.
And I think, honestly, I think if we're just going to be frank and real about it, I think we can chalk a lot of this up to Montgomery's just really good.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
number 16 for a reason in the nation, and they're showing it tonight.
No, I honestly, it sounds silly to say they score six goals, but I think that's a really great point. This has not been one of those games where you can point to moments where the Fighting Owls just had lapse in judgment or just made really terrible mistakes. They just ran into a buzzsaw, and sometimes that is going to happen. I mean, the first game of the season, Harford was the buzzsaw. They dropped a 7-1 beatdown on PG. Well, they're on the other end of it here tonight. Sometimes it is just not your day, and that has been the case.
Montgomery goal scored by number 9, Oscar Alvarado.
Yeah, that's kind of another reason why I don't doubt a bounce back from Harford and a good season from Harford at all here, because, like you said, it's not, it's not that Harford's playing poorly or making poor decisions. Like you said, it's just Montgomery's playing really, really, really good soccer, and Harford's just on the receiving end tonight.
No, sometimes you are the buzzsaw, and sometimes you get cut up by the buzzsaw. And here today, Harford has been sliced and diced by this Raptors team. Hats off to them and their leading scorer, Oscar Alvarado Celis, who had the last goal just a moment ago, and it was his third of the contest. He's on the road, so no hats in this one, but he has joined that hat trick club. Under 10 minutes to play now. 3 goals in the first half and 3 goals in the second half. And the Raptors leaving no doubt here in this one. Fighting Owls continuing to fight, though. And that last goal a minute ago, the first one surrendered by the new goalie, Luca Cheney. That was got to be a tough one for him to get past, as he was in position for the head ball, but then the head ball went in the other direction and the goal's wide open for the easy cherry pick. Third goal from Oscar Alvarado.
Cheney wishing he had 2 more arms on that goal right there.
Absolutely. The toughest goals or the toughest saves to make are when you're sliding into one direction only to watch the goal or watch the ball be placed in the opposite direction. Getting the goalie moving, always key offensively, and if you can get him moving, you usually got him in your back pocket. Approaching the final 5 minutes of play here in our nightcap. Game 2 of our doubleheader, not nearly as competitive as Game 1. These two programs, women's teams, 90 minutes without a goal. Certainly not the case here in this one, as Montgomery grabbed a goal in the 7th minute of the game and never looked back. So I guess it'll be 1-0-0 in this matchup with these in the doubleheader with the Raptors.
I'll tell you what, if you told me going into this doubleheader we were going to see 7 goals tonight, I wouldn't have put them all in the nightcap. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't have put them all in the same game.
Certainly not, and that is reason number 1,000 of why I am not a betting man and never will be, because I certainly would not have had my money on that one, just like you. I want to thank all of you fans at home for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon and evening. And I hope you can join us when we return for men's soccer on the 20th of this month. September 20th against Harcum. That's the next time you'll be able to catch this Fighting Owls team live here at the Owl's Nest. If you can't join us live and in person, well, you can always join us on Watch Harford Athletics. Harford Athletics website, go to the Schedules tab, and there's always a spot right there for you to click Watch the Game. Join us live. You're home for all of Harford's home games all season long, and it doesn't matter if we're on the pitch, on the diamond, on the turf, or inside on the hardwood. If there's a game going on here at the Owl's Nest, we are bringing you the action.
We love doing it.
Yes, we do. I want to say thank you to you, Evan, for joining us here today, and hope to see you again all throughout the season. And I know the fans feel the same way, as this was a lot of fun calling the games here with you today.
Absolutely, ton of fun being here with you too. First time working together, you and me. I'm hoping it's the first of a lot of them.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was going to say. The first of many here, the beginning of a nice partnership, and I know the Harford fans are going to be happy to have us bringing all the action all season long. As soccer season is underway, so is volleyball. And there's still a lot of season left for soccer and volleyball. But, of course, I also saw the rumblings of the basketball team around the campus today. They were shooting some hoops in the auxiliary gym, also going through some players' meetings. So the action on the hardwood right around the corner. As the holiday season comes around, we start to head inside for some action on the hardwood. But, of course, getting ahead of myself. Still got to wrap things up here on the pitch, not only tonight, but this season. Still a long way before the tournament time for men's and women's soccer. Maybe not the starts of the season that they were looking forward to, but still a lot of time left for them to turn around the ships.
I'm with you, though. I'm excited for some hardwood action, too. I'm in there for it.
It's hard not to get excited when you see the athleticism on display from some of the basketball players. I was watching them warm up and shoot around here earlier today. Some big boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fighting Owls in need of somebody big out there in the middle of the box, as they're looking for someone to run underneath of it, as they had a corner just a minute ago and now a second corner. No one able to get to it. They still eventually get a shot on goal, but it comes about 2 miles out of the box and is an easy save for the Raptors. Final 3 minutes has arrived here. Another opportunity for us to thank you guys for joining us on this Tuesday evening. You see the Raptors looking for more goals, looking for 7. In towards the box. What a tackle! A beautiful, well-timed slide tackle, and then he helps his man up afterwards after taking his lunch.
That was a beautiful challenge there. Perfectly timed challenge, too. And like I said before, you're making those challenges in the box. Those have to be perfect, and it was that time.
Picture perfect, just as you are taught when you first are able to go for the slide tackle.
Have to wait a few years when you start playing soccer to be allowed to do those.
Absolutely. Got to make sure you can first get to the ball and not just use your toe. A deflection on the corner kick there. Possession stays with the Raptors, but it'll be on the sideline this time with the throw-in. And the final 90 seconds is here. Harford keeping the ball in front of them. Montgomery runs out of real estate. Possession stays here, though it is last touched. Because it was last touched by a Fighting Owls player. It's tough to see who touched that one last in the no man's land in the corner right in front of us. Referee says it was off of a Harford player, so another corner, maybe the last one of the day for the Raptors, as they're taking their time getting to it. Final minute of play here. Raptors go to the top of the box, chip it in, and that one is whistled dead. All for none. And that may be the final hoorah offensively that we see from the Raptors. Up here in the broadcast booth and down there on the field and, of course, in the stands, when this second half started, we all had hopes of an epic second half comeback. Well, a goal in the 46th minute by the Raptors all but dashed those hopes. A couple of goals later, final score in this one is 6-1. The Montgomery Raptors get the best of the Harford Fighting Owls. Raptors move to 3-1 on the season. Harford falls to 1-3, but 1-1 in the conference. And they will get a chance to put their best foot forward this Thursday at Garrett. Game 1 of a 3-game road trip in Western Maryland for them. And then they'll be back here at the Owl's Nest on the 20th of September against the Harkham Bears. Evan, any final thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we said earlier in the game is that I think we see Harford really bounce back from this. I really agree with what you said. I think this might be the turning point of 2025 for the Fighting Owls. I think they've learned a lot about themselves through a 5-goal loss. And I think if that goal didn't come so quickly, I think we might have seen a really, really good competitive second half. But that first goal in the second half in the 46th minute, I feel like you really felt the house come down when that ball hit the back of the net. And I think it's a learning experience. Montgomery's really good. I think Hartford's going to be good. I think there's just lessons to learn, a lot of internal discussions to have after this one, and I think we see a really, really good road trip from these Fighting Owls.
I think you are right, and I think you hit the nail right on the head right there when you said that this is the game where it all turns around. They went down in this one, but there's a lot of season left in this, or there's a lot of fight left in this Harford team, and they've got a lot of season to show that fight. Aaron Thomas in the broadcast booth, Evan John with me for the final time here tonight, saying good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I can't wait to talk to you again next time.